Hi guys, what's up? It's me, Audra. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. All right, so you're seeing the whole mess of what's behind me right now. We're not going to talk about it. I was wanting to kind of do something a little bit different. I wanted to do a bit of a get ready with me, but I'm not good at it. And I figured if I stood and I have some natural light coming at me, I'm still working on the lighting situation, so please don't punch me in the face. Not that you could right now, but it's going to be kind of rambly. I'm just going to chat and do my makeup and try to get over a fear. All right, so like let's all hang out and be friends. So if you don't know, I'm just priming my skin right quick. I got a new job and my mom is taking me out to celebrate, and I'm excited about that. So I'm getting dressed for that, and I figured I would try something new. Obviously, it was off the cuff because I would have, attempted to pretend like I'm a cleaner person than I am. But I am a Taurus, and we have lots and lots of neat piles. So, leave us alone. I've been using this pretty vulgar concealer. It's good. It's not terrible or anything. I just use it. I'm so tired of shaving my face. Yeah. So life. Yeah. So I got fired from a job I knew I was going to get fired from like last year, but I just kind of let it go. I just wasn't going to do a whole lot of stuff about it because I figured I'd just ride the wave. Maybe I was wrong, but I wasn't, so I just moved on. But I'm really happy about this, and that is, as Kelsey says, oddly Aquarian, that's that on that. And I don't really have anything else to say about it other than lucky me. But I actually want to talk about like horror movies. I don't know if anybody who watches is into horror. The one thing I hate about this concealer though is it it sits well there, but it doesn't sit as well around my mouth. Because I just watched Train to Busan, and if I had known that movie, to be clear, it's not that I hate romantic movies or anything. I just only watch a romantic movie if it's like teen based, which sounds kind of creepy now that I'm saying it out loud. But the reason I particularly like to watch teen based ones is because like I can get down with that. Like I'm like, yeah, like when you're young and you can believe in that, like that's cool. Like I think that's what it is because the adult ones always have weird things, and I'm a bit of a realist in some form. So there's just things that they do in some of these where I'm like, no, that would not happen like that. So I'm just not into it. But when it's like teen based, like To All the Boys I Loved Before or The Kissing Booth, which I love The Kissing Booth, I can watch those and dig in those. And I have to be able to escape in a romance movie. And if I can't escape, which most of the time I can't because I'm like, no way, that wouldn't happen, then I don't watch it. But I watched Train to Busan, and it made me ugly cry. Like, I was super sad. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a Korean horror film, and I will be right back. So it's a Korean movie. It does have subtitles. I would always recommend that if you're going to watch a horror film in a foreign language, do not watch the dub version. It just takes away from the movie. This is just my opinion, but it takes away from the movie if you watch the dub version because one, the voices that they use are rarely good. The voice acting is hot garbage, and it just doesn't sound like that person. So anyway, I watched it with subtitles like a good girl, and I've always done that. Anyways, moving on. This is going to be a super rambly get ready with me, so just if you're expecting coherence from me, like, please don't. That's not what I do. So the point is, I'm trying to get there. Gosh. Okay, there it is. I've been putting on my eyeshadow first, but today I just want to make sure that I wasn't like super duper late when my mom shows up. She'll be like, what are you doing? Oh, are you filming? Because my mom's super awesome. Anyhow, It's a zombie movie. I think I said that. And it's phenomenal. And it makes my whole life, like, I was so sad. I think part of it is, like, it hit personally, like, about a father who didn't realize the value of his daughter until it was too late. So, obviously, it takes place on a train. And I don't know. It's just a really, it's one of the best zombie movies I've seen in a really, really long time. It's very, very thoughtful and thought provoking, and it just does something, I don't know, to your spirit and to your soul. And I like movies that do that. I like movies that, like, give me that, like, that good feel. Like, I was sad, but it was also good. And I don't want to give too much away because it's like, if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, I don't want to destroy that for you. About the only thing I like from this What's the Tea palette from The Balm is that it has like a eyelid primer in it, and on the advice of Robert Welsh, I've been trying to use one. Now, typically I would have done it before. Let's, like, cut me some slack. I'm nervous. So Train to Busan is one I finally got to watch, and I am not sorry for having seen that. That was amazing. And if you have not seen that and you're into zombie movies, then I highly recommend that one because it is so good. Then the other, this is like one of the most heartbreaking, like, horror, it really is like a horror, like, I guess it is horror, but it is so heartbreaking. It hurts my actual feelings. I can't remember what it's called. Hold on, it's like, oh gosh. Ooh, I'm gonna have to Google. Okay, after finally looking it up, I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. I think it's because, like, the name of it is so, well, it's called Incident in Ghostland. And if you have not seen that, highly recommend it. All right, I am gonna kind of fuck with this peach Bellini palette that I got. It's a makeup peak palette. I got it in my Ipsy Glam Bag Ultimate. I don't think I like it that much, but I'm gonna keep trying to figure out what to do with it. I don't know. I don't feel like I like this palette, but okay. But the main thing is, it's the most haunting and realistic portrayal of, like, a mind when it shuts down from, like, horror, like, horrible things that are happening. Yes, I know I got shit everywhere. And I love it for that. And it's just, like, so haunting. It's one of the most haunting movies I've seen in a really long time. So it does break your heart, and I will be honest there. It does break your heart, but it also, like, it totally redeems itself and gets, back into the swing of it. It doesn't take long for it to, like, not be super shitty and not hurt your feelings. Like, it does. It's, like, fucking terrifying, and it's really terrifying. I'm not gonna lie about that. It is exceedingly terrifying. So you have that. Then, if you have not seen The Love Witch, oh my goddess, I absolutely love that movie. It's, like, the thing about it is it kind of takes this funny little turn where it's kind of making fun of a style of movie. Like that old school, like, I'm gonna say, like, 60s style. And it just floors me. Every time I watch it, it's like there's so many good one-liners in that movie. But it's basically about this woman who, well, she's a witch, but she's a witch who wants love, and she's having a hard time finding it. And because she's having a hard time finding it, she's doing all these spells and shit, and, like, there's terror in her wake. It just gets messy as fuck really, really fast, and I like that a lot. I think that that's cool. I think it's a funny ass movie too. So horror is, like, if I'm honest, it is my favorite genre of film to watch. And a big part of that is because growing up, horror had, like, women who were powerful in it. And I did not get to see that growing up, if that makes sense. Like, or just as a general rule, in most film genres, women were not the powerful ones. Women were not the ones who, saved the day. I mean, I know people talk a lot of shit about The Final Girl, but The Final Girl was, like, a big deal because it was the woman who slayed the beast, not the man. And it was only in horror that you could really see that women had strength and they weren't just shrinking violets and they weren't just crying everywhere like, oh my God, Zach, save me, like, or Brad, Brad. And so the other thing I love about horror is, as a person of color, um, I really loved that I could actually see brown people on screen. And it wasn't something that I was used to seeing. Like, most of the time, we're not going to talk shit about how I use brushes. Moving on. Most of the time, you did not get to see black people on screen the way that you see them now. Like, it was just very clear that they were just like a superfluous piece of whatever was happening. They weren't actually like part of the movie or anything like that. It was just like, oh, we need a black character, and then they just threw one in. And in horror, they had like lines, they were talking, you know, they were doing the damn thing, and it was kind of cool to be able to see that and be like, oh, okay. And I like that. So I grew up and I just really, really liked horror from the jump because I just felt like it was very, very obvious to me that that was one of the few places that I would see people of color. And even if they did die early, I got to see them. So, so I get to see a lot of strong females. One of my favorite strong females in horror is actually Heather Langenkamp. If you are not familiar with her, but you are familiar with Nightmare on Elm Street, that's why. She played Nancy, one of the most iconic female fighters in a horror genre. But she played Nancy, and she was damn good at playing Nancy. I mean, she really played that to perfection, and I loved it. And I just love that there was this really beautifully strong feminine energy, and she was just like the only one who could defeat Freddy, and nobody else could. And I just thought that was pretty fucking badass. Like, here was this girl, high school girl, and that was actually back in the 80s when they did use teenagers in horror films instead of 40-year-olds. So those are facts. Like, it really, these days, you're like, are you sure these are teenagers? And they're like, mm-hmm. And you're like, are you sure? And they're like, mm-hmm. And you're like, because these people are old as fuck, and I don't have, like, I can't say anything, like, I can't, you know, I'm old, but it bothers me sometimes, and sometimes takes me out of the movie when they do that shit, because I'm just, like, having a hard time with the fact that I'm watching a, you know, 35-year-old try to portray that they're 17 or whatever, and I'm just like, I can't, I'm not taking that. It's not working for me, dog. So, but Nancy was always just, like, Billy Badass, and she shows up in, I think, three of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. She's in one. Wait, is it three? I can't remember. I know she's definitely number one, and she's also in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think, Dream Warriors. And that is one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, if you had to rank your Nightmare on Elm Streets, Dream Warriors is right the fuck up there as being at the top of my list because it's this shiznit, and I just love the concept behind it. And that movie, see, horror teaches you a lot. That movie actually taught me how to control my own dreams, like when I was having a nightmare. So I learned how to do that because I was always like, oh, I'm scared. And now I don't get scared like that anymore. And when I do get scared like that, or have a nightmare, I know that I can, like, change that, and I very much enjoy that about life. That when I want to, I can just be like, I don't want to dream about this anymore. But Nancy was just so iconic because she was just like this doe-eyed girl. And for those of you that don't know, that was actually Johnny Depp's first movie. And I think it was like, yeah, that was his first movie. I don't know if it's his first, like, screen appearance ever. I can't decide if he got 21 Jump Street right after that. But he was in there, and he was fine. So fine. I love Johnny Depp. He makes, like, my whole life. Like, I'm like, Johnny Depp, can you take me home? Because, like, I'm old enough, you know? I'm old enough for Johnny, so I don't want to hear any shit about that either. So there's that. I like that about Nightmare on Elm Street. But there's technically 8 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So there's 1 through 6, which is like kind of a continuation of the series. Part 2, a lot of people don't like. I used to not like Part 2, but now I kind of do. If you know the backstory behind Part 2, because Part 2 of Nightmare on Elm Street deals a lot with homosexuality. Don't worry about all this. It's gonna work out. Deals a lot with homosexuality. The actor who was playing the lead in there, and I can't remember his name, it was probably something dumb like Johnny or whatever. But the actor who was playing the lead was also going through, I don't know why I left this coffee here. The actor who was playing the lead was also going through that coming out situation. And so it was a very like, I don't know, it was kind of highly sexual in some ways. And I thought that was pretty cool. And if you watch it now, it's not like, it's not as terrible. Like if you watch it knowing the backstory, it's not as terrible. But back then it was like universally hated. But the reason it was so universally hated is because it didn't fit in. Like Freddy wasn't even really in that movie really. He was more like the backdrop. And it was annoying because we were all just sitting there like, where's Freddy? And you spend the whole movie just being like, where is Freddy? I know, I'm putting blush on and then, what? I do my makeup weird. We're just gonna, this is the order I like to do my makeup in. So yeah, so that one's like mostly, it was universally hated for a very long time for the very reason that it didn't seem to fit in with everything else that was happening. And a lot of people were upset by that. They were not happy that Freddy just seemed to come through this guy, but it kind of makes sense later. And then the next ones that have Freddy are going to be, I'm going to use this brush. Then Nightmare on Elm Street 3 takes us right back to, you know, the Freddy era. It takes us back there, and we're all very excited about it. We're all like, yes, bitch. We're all here for it. And it's about, Patricia Arquette's in that too. There's a lot of famous people who've been in horror films. And in fact, Nightmare on Elm Street is the first series where like the black dude lived to like fight in another one. Don't worry, I'm gonna clean this up. The black dude lived to fight in another one. He really did. And I was really excited about it. I like to use this big fluffy ass brush because it's easier for me and it's lighter on my skin. So I'm not tugging. Sometimes if I use smaller detail brushes or things like that, like I'm tugging on my face and I don't like that. So I'd rather just go back in and clean this shit up than I would tug my delicate eye skin. So Kincaid was like the first black dude to live, and I was like, bitch, get out. And they're like, no. So anyhow, but he was like so fine, and Kincaid was the shit. He was like big and attractive, and he just had a way about him that was undeniable. And he was a pretty good looking dude for the times. I mean, I guess he's still good looking. Like to me, I thought he was. But I didn't know then what I know now, which is like, I like people to be chubby. I like to date the chubbies. It makes me feel safer and warmer. And I don't know, just like, that's what I like. I don't know why I told you that. We're gonna move on. So then Patricia Arquette's in that one. And then there's the fourth one, which is basically another girl comes in and she passes off the torch and to this girl named Alice, and that's the fourth one. I don't know why I'm giving you the synopsis of every Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's what's happening.
Because I'm still nervous.
But anyway, there's technically 8 of them, and the reason I say 8 is because there's 1 through 6, which are all Freddy movies. And then there's Freddy versus Jason, which is honestly one of my favorites. So then there's like Freddy versus Jason, and I do like that one. Which, that one's funny because it like kind of harkens back to like all the jokes and shit that Freddy used to do all the time. Where he'd be like, how sweet fresh meat, and like in this one there's Kelly Rowland and he's all like, how sweet dark meat, and I was like, bitch. So to me, I found it, you know, quite hilarious. Other people maybe didn't. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird horror purists, and I don't fuck with them because they be getting on my last nerve. But the reason they get on my nerves is because they're just so like adamant that everything has to be this way or that way, and it gets very obnoxious, and you can't really watch a movie with those people because they're assholes. But anyhow, that being said, and then there is the much maligned remake that a lot of people don't like. And those people, I don't know. I think, here's the thing, I think if it had been a standalone Freddy movie, like not a remake, I think it would have been received better. But people got in their feels and were upset because Robert Englund wasn't in it, and Robert Englund is the Freddy, the only Freddy. And so with Robert Englund not being in the movie, people were really chuffed that he wasn't going to be in that. And I liked Robert, I think it's Robert, no, it's something Ely. I'll look it up or put it in here afterwards, but it's, I can't remember his name. It's like early Ely. Anyway, he portrayed Freddy, and I liked his portrayal. I liked that movie. I'm like one of a few people who actually enjoyed it. I didn't actually get that mad about it. Like I wasn't in my feelings because I was just like, ugh, whatever. It is what it is. But to me, the reason I'm like that is because I call it a reimagining. Like that's how I did it. I was like, this is a reimagining of the story, and it gave a lot of backstory, and like there were some moments in there where you weren't sure if like Freddy was the Freddy that you thought he was, and I liked that turn of events. To me, I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. But other people didn't. I liked it. I was down. I was like, yes, bitch, and other people just weren't. So to each their own. But I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was pretty good for a Freddy installment. I think that the only thing I didn't like was some of the pacing. The pacing was a little, it was like slow and fast. It was one of those weird movies where it was too slow but also like too fast, because I felt like they rushed through a lot of the characters, and I think that they could have not done that and still made like a really good movie. I like to kind of buff out my highlight a little bit with my bronzer. But yeah, I thought the pacing of it was just a little off at times. Like I was just kind of like, yes, no, maybe so. And I felt like there were just times where it wasn't as good as it could have been. Like there were just times where I was like, work this pacing out, bitches, and then whatever. It was what it was. I liked it. There are a lot of purists who fucking hated it. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't change that. I don't know. So, but I enjoyed that one, and a lot of people act like that one's not it. But Nightmare on Elm Street was one of Wes Craven's masterpieces. Ooh, goddess rest his soul. But because I loved Wes Craven. He just had like a vision that, like, I mean, not everything was good. Like, The Shocker was pretty terrible. Like, I've watched it several times and kept trying to find like one good thing. I know that this shit's weird, but it's fine. But I watched that movie like because it was on Shudder. I have Shudder TV because I am that bitch. I love horror that much that I much prefer to just have like a channel, because basically if you have Shudder TV, it's like you're watching horror on television. And so I watch that. Bo watches it when I leave, and then we discuss the film afterwards. No, I'm just kidding. This will fix, don't worry. So I watched The Shocker like, I don't know, 17 times, I feel like. Probably more. 17 seems to be like the number I use from like multitudes, and I'm like, what the fuck with that? So anyway, see, I told you. So I watched that, and I could not, it was bad. But Wes Craven had a way about him with making movies, and just a general way about him as a person. Like, he was super interesting and funny, and I liked a lot of the stuff he put out. Like, there's one with Christina Ricci, and I cannot remember the name of it right now. Like, I literally cannot remember the name of anything. I do not do my eyeliner all the freaking way down because it closes my eye. talk while I do my eyeliner. Like I said, I had been doing my eyes first and then putting on my foundation, but I got super nervous about filming this, and I don't even know if I'm going to put it up. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if this goes into the catalog of all the things that I film and never put up. But yeah, Wes Craven had this like bomb movie, and Christina Ricci was in it. Then I'm sure a lot of you know Scream. Scream is one of my all-time favorites. I like Scream because, like I said, it really did, and they said this in a documentary too, but it really did set this like insane stage that like no one was safe. Like no one was safe. It didn't matter who you were, you could get killed, and that was super stressful. Like watching that and realizing that like my faves might die, I was like, bitch, what? Because like Drew Barrymore, it was just like, that was sudden. I do this every time with this. And that was super sudden. I was just like, no, she's the star though. Because they kept touting it like Drew Barrymore is in this. And I was like, oh yes, bitch. And I was like super excited. And then it was like, just kidding, she's already dead. And I was like, what? So yeah, horror is my business. There's so many horror movies. Like there's ones, if you like horror movies, like I am a person to talk to if you're like looking for new horror to watch. I told you, I do makeup weird. If you're looking for new horror to watch, like I would be a good resource if there's something you haven't seen. And then go like this. And mascara. I think one of his last movies, I don't know how I feel about this mascara now. Oh, never mind, I like it. Was Scream 4, but I could be wrong. He made a lot of shit that people didn't know that he like was a part of. I feel like y'all are just all in my nostrils because I actually can't see because of I have no idea what you're looking at right now, so we're gonna see how this all pans out when we're doing editing and see how ridiculous and foolish I actually end up looking. I don't fuck with fake lashes, I just don't. We're not even gonna talk about it. And please don't try to give me suggestions because no, I don't want to. No, thank you. I wish I could remember the name of that movie. I watch so many movies that it gets harder and harder for me to remember the name of every single one. I'm just like, what's that movie with that one person? And I think sometimes Google, like, being able to Google shit also makes it bad for me. Ooh, I'm missing something in this look and I'm about to fix that. I'm kind of like replicating an eye look I did on a live. I just did it a little bit better this time. I think. Who knows? It could just be like worse. I could be telling myself it looks better and it doesn't. I use a ton of mascara, which is why I'm super picky about mascara because it has to be buildable, but it can't be sticky and weird. All right, we're almost finished with this look. I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to me rant about Nightmare on Elm Street and Wes Craven and horror films, but it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I love horror. It's a big part of my life. Like, I've reached a stage now where I won't even date somebody if they don't like horror, which I know sounds like really fucked off. Like, damn, you're not going to date somebody because they don't like horror? You are correct. I am not. And here's why. I'm going to fix that. It is specifically because if I date somebody who doesn't like horror, I love horror movies. And I want to watch horror movies. I like that. I have a good time. I don't want to date somebody who doesn't like watching them, because then I have to watch them by myself. I already married somebody who didn't like them, and like I don't like watching them by myself. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do with other people. I mean, I do, but like if I'm gonna be with somebody, I want you to watch it with me. Like, damn, is it that hard? No, I'm just kidding.
Just tap it on. Just tap it on. Just tap it.
I don't know why I like my inner eye like this, but I recently started doing it like this, and I like it when I do it. I kind of like it like to be like right there.
Hey, pretty girl, what's your name?
Oh, she cute. Oh, I keep telling you guys I'm going to show you my weird lips, but can you see it? Like how they're kind of like they just define themselves and have a pretty hard line. As a general rule, I don't really have to fight very hard to stay on the line of my lips. In fact, when I was younger, people would always say, how do you put lip stuff on without a mirror, like lipstick? And I was like, I don't know, I just know where my lips are. I really didn't know what to say to that. Like, I didn't know what the answer was. Except for on this side, this lip is always trying to be extra as fuck. All right, now we're gonna go in with this, because I don't like how red. And also, I don't need my lips just like coming the fuck off. All right, I feel very confident that everything that I did was batshit crazy. You were mostly staring at the mess behind me, and hopefully not at me, and I'm really quite blown out, but I'm hoping to be able to fix this. For now, I was just hoping to be able to catch some of that natural light. I could not. I'm sorry. So I guess I'll do like a slow-mo montage of what I look like, and we'll go from there. Super long, rambly, get ready with me. I guess we talked about horror movies, and I guess this one's gonna be called Nightmare on Elm Street and Makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you like get ready with me style makeup videos, and if you like them from me specifically, and if you would like to see more, and then I'll get a setup together. But if you don't, then I won't worry about a setup, and I just won't do this anymore. It's very nerve-wracking for me, but I did conquer a fear. And if you have not already, please consider subscribing. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers for my 40th birthday. What? Yes, doing that. Okay, I'm sorry. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. I'm looking forward to hanging out with my mom. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, deuces!